Alright, so I've got some questions. We have a gapped pedal over here and no gapped pedal over there. And we didn't think too much of it, just felt like maybe the pedal wasn't coming up all the way. But the tire didn't quite look centered in the gaps. So I got this ruler. It has a little bit of a wooden bow to it, or with wood, and it's bowed out towards the pedal hanger. And we notice on this side it stays snug in there. I pull it out and turn it. So the bow's to the outside again, and it just falls right out. And in fact, it's a little floppy in there. So then I measured between the straight up into the pedal hanger, and this side, this pencil, carpenter's pencil, doesn't come close to fitting between the pedal hanger and the housing, or the wheel. And on this side, I have to look a little bit here. Yeah, there's clearance all the way up, a large gap between the two. Alright, so here we're going to do an update on the Kingsong 16X. We had a question that we talked to ewheels about with these pedals, that one pretty much, it actually does touch, and this one, when it's up, has a gap. So not a big problem. We're just worried that they're not laying the same perpendicular length to the wheel and tire itself, and that they're not equally flat. So I went and I did have a protractor I can use to check that, and I'll demonstrate how I use that in a little bit to kind of give me an idea before I go ahead and take off the pedals, because I don't want to dig into this thing and find out anything. I just want to make sure that none of these hangers are bent or way out of caliber, or there's something else wrong. And ewheels got back to us and said that there's probably nothing else wrong with it, that it's within tolerance. So I do want to investigate why it doesn't close up as much as the other side, just to make sure that there's nothing else going on here. Alright, I've done this to both sides already. I'll show you how I'm doing it here. Make sure that pedal is all the way down. Trying to be consistent with both sides as I do this, of how I treat it. Usually comes out about 2.5. There we go. As you can see there. So I do both sides. I've done both sides several times just to make sure I'm being consistent. And again, this is just leveling it with the case, because I want the dimensions and angles between your leg and your foot to be identical from left and right as much as possible. They were showing 1.5, but I noticed it's squished a little bit up because of where the paint can is. Yeah, there we go, 2.5 on that side also, which is pretty consistent. And so what we were worried about is that the angle would be different on the wheel, which would mean that the pedal hangers might have a angularity problem to them, or a bend to them, or something else going on. But all of that looks good. I am still going to be taking off these pedals just to make sure that there's nothing in the hanger that is keeping it from coming up all the way. But it appears that when the pedals are down, they're even. So thanks ewheels for getting back to us and telling us that at least you don't suspect anything major going on with it. So we've only got 3.5 miles on this. My wife was riding, so we just want to make sure it's going to be safe to be used. I already checked this, and I think in the back side is where it grabs the 5mm hex Allen. So yep, that looks like it's coming out. So that's what holds the pin in. Now these Kingsong 16X only has a pin, like Allen set screw in it, I think. And it holds that pin in, so it only goes in one direction. And I don't see any thread lock or Loctite on there, but I will be putting some Loctite on there when I reinstall it. Now, since that held it in that way, I should be able to push it out in that direction. I just need something longer to do that. Alright, I think I found something. Just a piece of plastic, but it's kind of stiff, and that rod didn't seem too hard to get out of there, and there it is. So that's good. There we go. Okay, this is the side that the set screw went on, so that's good. That pedal's off. We'll put that over here. Turn it around and do the same thing to this side.
I've never felt like so miserable. I've never felt like thinking this will last forever. They're just with me. You gotta tell them you don't come all over me. When stars smile and move, what a hollow in your eyes, just dialing your mind out, fading to rest the last.
Alright, we'll go ahead and quickly measure. See if I can get a measurement on this angle. I don't have another angle gauge with me. For these hangers. But I'll do this a few times. I want to make sure I'm consistent with my angles and my pressure on it, and I'm going to also measure the gap. I am getting a nice flat surface that I could see and I could feel with this gauge. And all I really care about is consistency from the right side to the left. And I'm getting that in both directions. This one's harder. I gotta stick my head around a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty consistent there. Well, yeah. So my pedal hangers are at the same angle. That's good. Now before I put these pedals back on, they're a little bit dirty. It's winter time here in the northern hemisphere, so I'm going to clean these up a little bit. This is a nylon brush, probably from Harbor Freight, pretty cheap, but I will be changing this grip tape to something more aggressive, but it's still in really good shape. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these up a little bit, especially when they're dried out. This digs in there really nice, and because it's nylon, it doesn't hurt the grip tape that's on there. Now I'll get ready to reinstall. Now one thing I've noticed with these pedals is there is a lot of scratching going on, like some little rocks and debris have gotten in between and scratched up the pedal hangers a little bit, and that's probably all that was causing my pedal on one side to be separated a little bit and look a little bit weird. So, because they feel pretty identical. And they're in good shape. So I'm happy with that. So I have here a 220 sanding block. I'm just going to clean it up in here with the sanding block. That's all I'm going to do. Just because there's some gouges in there, I'm going to clean them up a little bit. Get any sharp edges off. I'm going to do the same to these pedal hangers a little bit. Just where some rocks have caught and grabbed. And there we have it. We are thoroughly impressed and enjoying our Kingsong 16X. We'll have more reviews coming. Again, you know, this is just in a response to having a little bit of asymmetry to the side of the pedal hanger not coming up all the way. But as you've seen, the angles are all right. The distance between the pedals and the body do not seem to be any different from one side to the other. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever for handling, and for riding it rides great. So yeah, thanks for eWheels for getting back to us so quick, and they told us, you know, go ahead and ride it. It's within tolerance, so we went with it. There has no evidence of anything else going on with the wheel. It's been running great for us and we love it.